I'm going to be honest with you, there is a multitude of things that annoy me in this current age that we all inhabit, but if there is one thing that is particularly insufferable for me, is gaslighting. Now, if you don't know what gaslighting means, I'm going to give you the dictionary definition right now, just in case you might be someone who doesn't speak English as a first language. But then, most importantly, which is going to be the meat and bone of this video, I will show you a perfect example of what gaslighting is. And it has to do with the UK government. But anyways. So, gaslighting is a form of psychological A-word that makes someone doubt their own perception of reality. In other words, gaslighting is the manipulation of someone into questioning their perception of reality. And here is how it works. You can use it to deny reality. The gaslighter denies that something happened, even when there is evidence or claims the victim is misremembering. So, if you have one of those situations where you're like, you said this yesterday, and they tell you, no, you're misremembering, I never said that, no, I actually said this, it's gaslighting. Trivializing feelings that dismiss the victim's emotions and needs of unimportance, saying things such as, you're just being too sensitive, you're overreacting, deflecting and lying. Instead of taking responsibility, the gaslighter deflects blame of lies about what happened, sometimes even changing the subject to focus on the victim's perceived shortcomings. Questioning sanity, and this is a big one. They may suggest the victim is crazy, imagining things. Their thoughts are influenced by others, and then gradual erosion. This pattern of behavior typically happens slowly over time and making it difficult for the victim to recognize at first. So, gaslighting, specifically in the political space, is a constant. It happens all the time. For instance, an example that has happened recently with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which I will never stop speaking about, was the fact that everybody knew that the criminal that took Charlie's life was a radical far-left extremist. And yet people kept saying, no, he's MAGA. There is this picture showing him wearing a Trump shirt, even though that was photoshopped. Or they were saying, his parents are conservatives, as if that means anything. Destiny's parents are conservatives. What are you trying to say? And then, even after the information and the data has been shown that it was obviously a case of a radical leftist that was indoctrinated into a very extreme type of ideology, they kept saying, no, at that point they couldn't say he was a conservative anymore. So they decided to say, no, he was just an independent. He was just acting on his own. It has nothing to do with the kind of stuff. And this is exactly what gaslighting is. Well, today we are looking at another type of gaslighting, and it has to do with the government. So, gov.uk on X on the 8th of August 2024 made the following post: think before you post. Think before you post. Now, considering what we know about the UK and how the wrong tweet can get you in prison, and people deny that happens as well, by the way. They deny that it's happening. But anyways, due to this, really rubbed a lot of people wrong, because already freedom of speech is in jeopardy. And the government grip onto the ability for the citizen to express discontent, to express a difference of opinion, is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, as everything is starting to become labeled as hate speech, which is so broad legally, because it doesn't exist legally. So it's so broad and vague that then more and more stuff is then maliciously integrated into this blob that hate speech is, in order to expand their population control. In that specific context, when you see the government say officially and publicly, think before you post, obviously rubbed people wrong. The reason why I say this is a form of gaslighting as well is because there are clearly all those that will defend the likes of Starmer. I don't know how at this point. It doesn't even matter. Oh yeah, because this person is Labour, they don't like conservatives. Right, but Starmer is objectively hated. It's hated by everyone at this point. Shills? Anyways, they do exist, and so, I mean, we have seen shills and tankies protecting Hassan Piker. So even though those are clearly, there is a matter of objective evil in those cases, it doesn't matter. So of course there will be shields for the UK government and the current people in power. Anyways, they said, no, it's not true. No, this is not a threat. No. This is just, they're saying think before you post, because it's important to think. It's like they will gaslight you. Now, I have proof. I can prove right now that this is in fact about language control, thought policing, and the disruption of freedom of speech and the ability for the citizen to express their disagreement with authorities. How am I going to prove it? By clicking. Look at this. Who can reply? You can't make this shit up. Accounts at gov.uk follows or mentioned can reply. So the people were replying. For instance, James here very eloquently says, go to hell. Or like people are showing Congress, July 4th, 1776, I got my license, blah, blah, blah. Speaking German really as bad as this, F around and find out, don't try that here in the US. So yeah, people were like, at an international level, of course, thinking of these three girls, poor victims, unfortunately, and my heart goes to the families and to them. So no, so of course, yeah, a lot of things. A lot of people were complaining about it. A lot of people were complaining about this from all over the world. And so what do they do? I mean, to be fair, First Amendment, sure, although again, it's not in the American context, but I guess. I digress. Now you can't say anything. I can't, like, if I wanted to say my own, even if I was gonna be polite about it, like even if I was gonna type and say, you think this is the wrong thing to say because as a government entity, you should consider the way this could be interpreted by, and I think people should be allowed to speak their mind openly, and of course, direct threats to violence and incitement to violence are not protected speech. But in general, I think this is wrong because it could be perceived as a way to apply hate speech laws, which are very dangerous. Like, I could have done a well-articulated rebuttal, and no, can't do it. I cannot type. And the thing is, the 54 million views, 54 million 0.7 views, so they got the message across, and now you can't say your own. And for me, it doesn't really affect me much. It annoys me. It looks tyrannical from my perspective. But it doesn't affect me much because I live in America. But I can only imagine someone, like a British brother or sister that lives in the UK and they have the right to speak their mind. And they can't because they're not accounts followed or mentioned by gov.uk. That's unacceptable. Unbelievable. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth. Proudly presenting the pendant of the noble one. Look at this beauty. Original custom design created by me in collaboration with Viking Jewelry. And it's my way to celebrate all of you, because as you know, I've been calling you noble ones for the last 12 years. Well, this is indeed the pendant of you, the noble ones, who are the custos veritatis, written here in Latin, and it means keeper of truth, because that's the only thing that matters. The truth, whether it offends them or not. So, available in both silver and bronze. I think my favorite is the bronze one, but they're both great. And this can be bought as a set, as we offer the original ring of the noble one, available in silver, bronze, and gold, the bracelet of the noble one, silent oath of truth, and a more low-profile version of the ring for those who prefer something a little thinner, which we offer also in bronze, silver, 14-karat gold, and 18-karat gold. Use the code NOBLE1 for a 15% discount at checkout. And massive thanks to each and every single one of you. And thank you to my haters for supporting my work.